So, we are in Whitehaven today. Completely honest, I wasn't actually going to vlog this. I just kind of wanted to get out, take a few pictures, enjoy the sun, even though it is bloody freezing. Well, I thought, I'll tell you what, let's do it anyway. Let's see how it goes. Basically, where we're at is Whitehaven Marina. There's a little lighthouse at the end, which is very nice. And I'm in the middle of a long exposure. 2 minutes at the moment. Basically softening out all the water and then try to add a little bit of drama into the clouds. It's one of those shots I've actually wanted to get for a while, but now I'm here. I'm not sure if it kind of works for what I had in my head. Don't worry, I think the image I've got will work. I think it'll work better in black and white. Sun's kind of coming down, but the light's not great. Clouds few and far between, so I'm not quite sure. I'll probably end up getting rid of them completely, maybe in the post-processing. Maybe give it a little bit of a cleaner image, but I'll see when we obviously get back to the computer. As the marina goes towards the lighthouse is on the end. I thought it'd be quite an interesting minimal image. Definitely in black and white. I think this is going to work perfectly in black and white. Nice colours. Lighthouse is white. Obviously, it's like an orangey kind of brick, but I think in black and white it'll just add a little bit more. For those people who just go, "Oh, why do you think black and white? Why do you think colour?" Well, see, black and white is all about contrast. It's about contrast, texture. So I've got a very, very smooth texture of a long exposure against the water, against the rock and the brick, and then quite a rough texture of the lighthouse. So I think it'll all come together quite well. Saying that, I still haven't had a look at the picture, so it might be awful, but we shall see, won't we? But what I want, I think, is to get higher up. What I'm thinking is getting higher up is actually getting up here, and then looking down, probably putting my longer lens on, and that should give me the kind of arc I was looking for, that kind of graphical. I don't know what I'm talking about here. All these things kind of go around in my head. Hopefully I can transfer that to my image I want. So we'll see how it goes. So, I have moved slightly further up to where I was trying to point to before. I'm basically right up by the monument, which is just behind me. I think this is a lot better vantage point. So what I'm going to do is put my 70-200 on. 72-200, I should say. Get it right. And basically zoom in a little bit. And that should compress the kind of the wall and the lighthouse. And actually what it also do, if I can, it'll give me a cleaner background rather than having all the mountains and things in the background. It'll just give me the sea. So I'll do exactly the same thing. Bit of a long exposure, if I can, and kind of see how that comes out. Like I said, this is not really a vlog. It was never going to be a vlog in the first place. But I just thought, you know what? Why not? Why not? I enjoy doing this bit. I enjoy talking to camera. Most people who know me, I do talk a little bit. So yeah. As you can see, we're all set up. I've put my adapter, my lens, my Lee Filters adapter on the end. Easiest thing would actually have two separate ones, but same size anyway. And to be honest, I don't use this for landscape. It's something I really need to start doing because it makes you become a better photographer. You basically pick out more details and pick out the bits that really work rather than what I do, which is kind of point and shoot with a big wide lens, and kind of make it look cool. We'll see how this works anyway, and hopefully it's better than the first one. So my process for setting up a shot is the same thing I do every time. Camera, tripod, turn all the autofocus off, all the vibration reduction off. Don't need that, it's on tripod, dead easy. Don't need autofocus because you've got enough time to manually focus and you'll actually do a better job than the camera will. So I use a mixture between the viewfinder and live view. The viewfinder is brilliant because you can compose it, it's on a nice black background, no other light coming in. And I generally use that probably 75% of the time. The other time is when it's slightly too high because I'm not the tallest person, and you can actually make micro adjustments ever so slightly. The other reason I use this is to actually zoom in on live view and get it really, really sharp. Once I have that down, that all done, first thing I put on is a polarizer. This is in the right direction, by the way, so I'm not going to start playing around with it. I use live view if I can, basically to turn the polarizer just to get the glare off. Then what I normally do is take a couple of quick images. This one, for instance, is at f10. The ISO is on low, which is ISO 50, and it's 1/15 of a second. I will take a couple of images, just at different shutter rates, just so I've got that base exposure, so it's absolutely kind of crisp, it's nice. And if I wanted to use anything from it, for instance, if I wanted to use the highlights maybe from a brick, for instance, I have that exposure and I know it's perfectly steady. Next thing I do is put my filters on. My filters are by Lee. I have this 10 stop and I have a 6 stop filter as well. I don't really use filters as much anymore. I tend to bracket my images, so it's we're a bit dark. You can just there we go, a little bit better. Yeah, so I don't use filters, just these ones, just to make a longer exposure than would normally. And then anything else like that, I actually bracket the image as well, so I've got the whole kind of between shadows and light. So these are the only ones I really use. Again, Lee filters, not cheap, but they are very, very good. So filters are in, and this is where you do a little bit of calculation. It was 1/15 before, so I'm going to go for probably about 1.5 minutes. It might be a little bit underexposed, but that's fine because I want that image as well. So go straight into manual mode, turn it all the way around until you get to bulb. Bulb mode basically gives you a longer than 30 seconds. Most cameras only go up to 30 seconds exposures. So if you go into bulb mode, you can use one of these. This is a cheap timer off eBay. Works perfectly well. Plugs into your camera. Basically becomes your remote. You can click the button and it kind of stays up. It's got a little timer in there. Sorry, I'm just very close to the camera here. I'm just putting my plugging this in, so you get a nice zoomed in picture of my eye. It's lovely, isn't it? There we go, set on. Actually set it for 2 minutes. I know I said 1.5 minutes before, but set it for 2 minutes, I think it'll be better. And then all we do is wait. So that exposure's finished. That was 2 minutes. Next thing I do is chimp. Basically have a look at my screen. Yeah, chimping. I'm not quite sure why it's called chimping, but have a look. Turn the camera on first. So I've just turned it off after my long exposure. And have a look. I'm not actually looking at the image itself yet. What I'm looking at is the histogram. I want to make sure that none of the highlights are blown out. So none of the highlights are completely to the right of the histogram itself. And I've got nothing stepping in black. This histogram here, I'm not quite sure if you can see, if I just kind of put this up, but you probably won't be able to see anyway, so it doesn't matter. Is histogram's right in the middle. Everything's between high and low, kind of does this. So I know I've got a good exposure. So 2 minutes was the right idea rather than the 1:30. And with that, because I've got everything, I've got nothing blown out, I know I don't actually need to bracket. So there is that image. And I will show you guys in a second of this one from up here. To be honest, I'm happy with that. Light's a bit rubbish, so to be honest, we'll actually call it a day there. Nice and short one, but I hope you've learned a little bit. A little bit different compared to my last one, which is the London video. If you haven't checked that out, that was from when I went down to London for the Fourth Box Awards. Check it out. I'm quite proud of that one. And again, next video will be from Buttermere. It is a Mally meetup. Mally Davis, go and check his page out. Very, very cool photographer. But it's a meetup, so a lot of photographers, probably a lot of people there. So it will be quite a bit fun. Whether we'll get any photography done, I'm not quite sure, but it should be a very good time. So check that out. That'll probably be out maybe in a weekish. If you haven't already, subscribe to me. Click the button. I think it's down here or down there, wherever it is. Like this, comment if you liked it. If you didn't like it and just thought I waffled, no, don't do that, because there will be a lot of comments. So anyway, bye.